I want to, for the moment, also bring in on this broadcast Vinoj P. Selvam of the BJP on this broadcast. Vinoj, the Congress in their rebuttal to your party has said, what's wrong with this meeting? What's wrong with Rahul Gandhi meeting members of all society, including this particular priest?
Okay, let's forget about Rahul Gandhi uniting the country. First, Rahul Gandhi needs to think about how to unite his own Indian National Congress. He is in a political party which is not united by itself, and then where is he going to unite the country? Moving beyond that, this is not surprising that he has met this pastor, Mr. George Ponnaiah. Here we have the meeting of two individuals who have the entire concept of break India. On one side, you have Rahul Gandhi who goes and says, India is not a country. He openly declares that India is not a country. And then you have George Ponnaiah, who says the Tamil Nadu government is issuing free slippers to people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who says they're issuing free slippers to people because the disease called Bharat Mata will stick on to themselves. So he basically calls the country, he basically calls India a disease. So we're talking about two individuals who believe in the concept of break India. I am not surprised that he joined hands with George Ponnaiah, met him. In fact, the ruling DMK government had in fact arrested him a few years back. He was arrested a few years back, in fact on the 25th of July 2021 for his comments saying that the DMK Congress alliance won the election because they were beggars in front of Christians and Muslims, the minorities. They begged the minorities, and it was because of their pity. It was only because of them that these people even came to power. And now Rahul Gandhi meeting this George Ponnaiah is not surprising, and it is just a show that this trying to unite India and all that is just a show he is trying to do just to avoid the entire confusion in the Congress. They are a headless bunch of chickens today. They don't have a leader, they don't have a president, and they don't have a person to even own up to come and say, I will lead this political organization. And at this juncture, trying to fool people by saying I'm going on a yatra to unite the country is stupid. We are a very united country. We are standing strong with the Prime Minister, and our Prime Minister is leading us really well to make sure that we are walking with the head straight and say we are proud Indians.
They're saying that we are the ones who believe in Sanatan Dharma and that we want to meet all members of the society. We don't endorse the views put out by George Ponnaiah in any way.
Then meeting him itself is wrong. A person who's been arrested, he's out on bail. A person out on bail for saying such comments. A person out on bail calling India a disease. He called our country a disease. And he is saying proudly that our population has grown from 40 to 60 to 70, and let's see what happens to all the Hindus. So if Rahul Gandhi meeting such a person is basically endorsement of George Ponnaiah's comments, it basically means he agrees with the views of George Ponnaiah. And again, I'm not surprised. An Italian meeting with George Ponnaiah is nothing which we should be surprised about. Rahul Gandhi's roots are from Italy. He has no Indian blood in him, and he is meeting George Ponnaiah, and then they are making these comments. It is not surprising at all, and it's a question which the Congress has to really answer about this meeting with George Ponnaiah.
The BJP maintaining, and we've just put out what Vinoj Selvam is also telling us here on India Today. He's maintaining very clearly that if Rahul Gandhi meets this kind of a person, that the Congress must answer. But as far as the Congress is concerned, they're maintaining that Rahul Gandhi no way endorses this. And Vinoj, I'd like your response to the Congress also saying that the BJP is the original hate factory, that they divide on Hindu, Muslim, Christian lines. We don't do that.
See, the last 8 years of governance in the country has seen a united front. For the first time, we have not had major communal riots erupting in any part of the country. We are showing true signs of solidarity, secularism, and we are sticking together by what we had promised the country. And today, Congress, during their period, we know the number of blasts which happened, we know the number of issues which erupted across the country, and Congress has always believed in the concept of divide and rule. They're nothing but what the British left behind. They are what the British left behind, and that is what is being carried forward throughout. They are a bunch of people who cannot select a leader for themselves. They need to depend on Italians who even lead themselves to run the organization, to run their political party. So I think they lose all moral obligation or moral responsibility or any morality to even talk about BJP or morality to talk about what the BJP has done for this country, and they don't represent anything which this nation stands for.
All right, Vinoj P. Selvam, thank you for joining us here on India Today. The BJP at this point lashing out at the Congress, asking and demanding answers from the Congress leadership. So far, every Congress leader we've spoken to has actually defended this particular video, unsurprisingly. They're saying that there is, clearly an attempt to distort what happened in this particular meeting. But questions that the BJP is asking is, why was such a meeting scheduled in the first place with a man who's been booked for making provocative comments against a religion, for making comments against the nation previously? That man you see on your screens, the George Ponnaiah, a Catholic priest, seen having a conversation again with Rahul Gandhi in that video.
He's a real God. He's a real God. That's God revealed him as a man, human person, not like Shakti or this power. So we see in this human person, born like a man, born in this world, the Father.